Hello everybody and welcome back to Juno New Origins, where we just accepted a TT Impactor mission. And do we have the Impactor on this right now? I think we might be ready to do this. Yeah, the Impactor's definitely on there. So we were thinking about this stage here. I wouldn't mind the stage having a little bit more Delta V in it. But to be honest, I think it's about as good as it's going to get. So that seems reasonably fine. Let's just put this out on the alley pad for right now. And if we have the DV to do this, which I'm still feeling out how much DV is needed to do everything, if we have enough DV to do this, that would be absolutely fantastic. Let's just lift this guy right on off. And off we go. Excellent. And apparently we roll to azimuth as well, and then we actually struggle to maintain attitude with this long of a rocket, which isn't necessarily shocking. We're going to be ditching these side boosters now, in fact. There we go. And I want to bring this over to a 0-degree pitch. Cool. There we go. Next is going to be getting rid of the fairing, which we're going to wait to do that until we are high enough up. Now, let's look at our current trajectory, 85.9, 86. Okay, this isn't a huge amount. We should really be on at least prograde here. Okay, so we're going to burn out this stage very, very shortly. And that gets us a lot more push, right? We're out of fuel, and let's go ahead and do that. Excellent. And we're going to pitch at 0. So we should really be at prograde, or like orbital prograde, when we start that burn. But this is fine. So we're going to do something like that. So you can see our orbital speed is up quite a lot higher due to that extra stage. And we've got like 5 kilometers per second in this right now. So that is absolutely noted. Our time to apoapsis is currently ticking down. So we might not have enough speed in order to do this, although if we burn prograde with that second stage, that might do the trick. We can see our orbital velocity is not all that high up. Actually, I want to try that different ascent. So let's just redo the flight and try the ascent profile. I don't like the wobbling that this likes to get, but let's just put this at 45 for right now. And let's lift this off again and put this into orbital mode, like that. Okay, and off we go. We're keeping an eye on these side boosters because we will need to stage them. Okay, staging them now. Off they go. At this point, I want to lock to prograde. Okay, we continue to burn here until this is fully burned out. There we go. And now with this, we continue to burn prograde. Instead of going quite as low as we did before, this will give us a much higher apoapsis and push us out much, much further. Our thrust to weight in this stage is very, very high, but it's not a very long stage. So that is certainly noted. Okay. There we go. And at this point, I would like to move it to 0. So we can see we've got 3.8 minutes to apoapsis this time, with the apoapsis being much higher. That seems pretty good. Our orbital velocity is decreasing because we need to get that lateral velocity up, of course. And our thrust to weight in this stage is very low, but we knew that that would be the case, and I'm really not too concerned about it. That ascent trajectory is definitely better. It's not perfect. I would prefer it if that second stage was just enough to squeak us into orbit. Get us a nice orbital velocity there. That would be ideal. But unfortunately, that's going to be complicated unless we want to just absolutely balloon the price of this, or significantly reduce the amount of fuel in this stage, which might not be a terrible idea. But we'll see. That rocket is quite tall, and we definitely have some aerodynamic issues on ascent, but for now, I think it's reasonably okay. We can see our orbital speed has reached 2,300 meters per second, and we are still needing about 1 kilometer per second in orbital velocity. So that is noted. Time to apoapsis is still ticking down. So I want to continue to work on that middle stage, the like orbital insertion stage. I think that if we were already in orbit when this stage activates, this is so much more powerful. So that is definitely absolutely noted. The apoapsis is still going up, and it's actually going up at a relatively quick speed now. So that looks good. But yeah, we're targeting a pretty high apoapsis for this. We're going to TT, so that seems okay. So 293, 294. We're just looking to get that up to 500. Time to apoapsis is going up, so yeah, this is absolutely fine. We're going to have a fair amount of fuel left here. You can see that the addition of that second stage really does give us a lot more delta V in this. So that looks good. We are approaching orbital velocity now. We're at 3 kilometers per second. It's about 3.3 to be orbital. And that apoapsis is going to start really increasing here. 350, 360, 370, 380, 400, 450, and this is pretty close. There we go, 500. Beautiful. So we are technically in orbit right now. We can circularize this and plan the burn at the apoapsis, and that'll just be bringing us up to about... This'll do. Go ahead and execute that burn. Fantastic. Okay. So we're off to TT. I wonder what our thrust to weight over TT is going to be. We'll find out. Excellent. So we're just circularizing this burn for now. I don't know what inclination TT is in. So let's set this as our target. It's pretty inclined. Okay. So it's quite inclined. That is absolutely noted. If we were to attempt to go to TT, it would be sometime around here. I don't know if we can actually pull that off. Maybe. Is that a TT encounter? Or is that a Luna encounter? I'm pretty sure that's a Luna encounter. So let's move this guy off over here a bit. And yeah, you can see our closest approach would be about here. So we're going to need to change the time. It's going retrograde? Hang on. That's interesting. I didn't realize that. Okay. Well, now that I know that, that's definitely going to have an effect on the landscape. So we're going to be looking to intercept it a little bit more like out over here then. Well, even out this way. So that's fairly close, but we're definitely going to need to do some inclination change here. We're going to have to get rid of that and put it in out over here. Okay. So that's going to be... Wait, it's back? This maneuver didn't actually get deleted. Okay. Wild. So we're going to push this back out, and that's going to be about 1 kilometer per second to get us out to there. Noted. So we're going to want to definitely get some inclination change here. Okay, yeah, we need to do an inclination change. This thing is very inclined, and being retrograde isn't the end of the world, but let's plan our burn at the descending node here. And our inclination is 5.76, whereas this is going to be... Okay, we're going to have to try to eyeball this, I think. So let's just get in about here or so. Is this the right direction? No. We need to go the other way. So inclining it to about here or so, just eyeballing it. Something like that. So that is going to be 1.25 kilometers per second. That is pretty extensive on the inclination. But I think we got to do it. Go for it. Let's see if we have enough DV to get that finished. Is this actually burning? It is. Okay. So let's see if we have enough DV to get this all finished. We've currently got about 3 kilometers per second. It'll take a kilometer per second to get there, and we'll see how much the braking burn will take. So that is absolutely understood. We'll have to feel out how this is going to be to get there. And then burning sometime out over here does make a lot of sense. So at like this periapsis would be the ideal time to do that. This burn is going to be for another 60 seconds. This is getting closer and closer. We'll see what this ends up looking like. But this is kind of already burning us in the direction that we want to go. So that is somewhat convenient. Okay, we've got about 15 seconds left here. There we go. That'll do for now. So we're going to plan a burn at the periapsis here, and we're going to push this right on out. And I want to have TT, this is Luna, I want to have TT set as our target. Okay. So we can see that this timing is definitely not great. We would instead need to go out, like, over this way. Out here. Okay. Bring this back a bit. And that is actually an encounter. 601 meters per second separation and 700 kilometers. So the closest approach would be 444. This seems reasonable. Do it. So that's 1.12 kilometers per second. We're going to have like 800 meters per second left. That inclination change was very significant. So launching into the correct inclination would have been a lot better, but I wasn't aware exactly of what that inclination was. We'll see if we have the delta V to pull this off. If not, we will revert this and try launching into that inclination. I'm not entirely sure how the heading and the desired inclination end up interacting from the alley pad, because your I believe it's latitude. I can't remember which. Your distance from the equator affects that as well. So that is something I need to figure out how to do, right? And we actually overshot this a little bit, looks like. Let's lock this over to retrograde. Let's pull this back ever so slightly. Now we have that encounter again. Okay. Just dialing it in a little bit. Under 100 kilometers would be pretty nice. That's about the best we're going to get. We're losing efficiency. Okay. So that seems fine for now. We're going to want to warp up over this direction. So up we go, and we're going to want to continue to warp up here to this encounter. Okay, so let's continue to go forward until we enter the sphere of influence. There we go. So, now the question is, if we plan a burn at the periapsis here, that's a lot of DV. We are moving fast relative to this thing. We knew it was going to be like 605 meters per second. Man. Okay. So it would be something kind of like this, right? in theory. That's 593 meters per second. We have the DV to do that, and the gravity on this isn't very high. What's our thrust to weight here? Currently showing as 0. I'm not sure that that's real. Let's test this and see how it goes. Okay. Thrust to weight is really high here. Okay, that is noted. So we need to continue this burn, and the question is, what is the actual gravity here? 0.01 meters per second squared. So we should need very, very little to actually stay below 100 meters per second. Okay, we've entered orbit, and we're now on an impact trajectory. And distance to reach release range, sure. I want to lock velocity retrograde, and let's warp to about here. And yeah, we're staying quite below the meters per second marker right now. So we've got about 34 meters or kilometers to continue to fall here. Let's come down a little further. So we're currently at about 70 meters per second. We've got 210 here. So let's continue to let this drop. Does this show us time to impact? Not currently. But if we go in here, well, we can warp to, like, here. Okay, so we need to slow down a bit, I think. Crash under 100 meters per second, max release speed. And this is currently saying 40 meters per second. Is this in orbital or target? No. Well, let's slow this down a bit and see what happens. We're apparently close enough. Now we can detach the impactor. Okay. And now we need to touch down. So this is going to crash, and this just needs to touch down. Okay. In theory, it should remain below 100 meters per second. And let's bring this down. Yeah, we're still moving at 70 meters per second here. And our ground level altitude is only 600 meters. So this is going to impact nicely. Yeah, we impacted the engine first. That's to be expected. And curse Blat. Nice. Our impactor is currently flying a bit. We need to touch down again, apparently. We had quite a bounce. No doubt about that. We're currently going up. What's our apoapsis right now? 8.16 kilometers. I mean, we're going to be going back down. Yeah, well, in theory. What's our sea level? Yeah, we're going down. Now, this is just going to be tumbling freely. We can't... I don't think we can actually control this. This shouldn't have a gyroscope or anything like it. Solar panel array exploded. No shockers there. That entire booster should probably be destroyed. Okay, so here we are on the ground, but we're bouncing again. We're still moving at 6 meters per second. Let's accelerate this up a little bit. Okay, so going into 10x, much like in KSP, actually stops your rotational momentum. That's interesting. Okay, so let's just bring this on down. There we go. We're still bouncing, and this is, of course, because the gravity here is incredibly, incredibly low. So we just need to let this settle in. Okay. So the contract is now completed, and there's no recovery locations available on TT, obviously. So that is fine. We managed to do that impactor. Excellent. And we've got multiple progression missions here. So this is the Luna impactor back. I don't know that we have enough Delta V to do this, but I suspect that we do. So let's accept this, and let's just get going on that right away. So this is going to be out on the alley pad. And we're going to do a very similar launch here. We shouldn't have too much worry about inclination here. So that'll give us another like 1.25 kilometers per second. That sounds excellent. And let's get on out of here. So up we go on 2x speed. And I want to put us into orbital velocity here. There we go. And these poor control surfaces, they aren't enough. No doubt about that. Our side boosters are burnt out now. We're getting rid of them. Our main SRB is going to be gone shortly. I want to lock our velocity to prograde right now. And that's gone. And we're out of here. So we're going to keep punching up here. There we go. And we can see that our orbital velocity is going up nicely. Our apoapsis is as well. And we can definitely ditch this now. There we go. Cool. And now we're going to put this at 0 pitch, and we're just going to start burning like so. Now we could just stay on the prograde marker until we hit 500 and circularize that way. You know what? Let's do it. Let's just continue to burn on the prograde marker. We'll get to 500 faster. It'll probably be fine. I say probably. It'll definitely be fine. This method will work as well to get to orbit. So we're just going to continue pushing up that apoapsis. This is definitely going to be getting us more vertical velocity. I think this is... well, I'm not sure which way would actually be more efficient. I would have to run tests. I generally prefer to do it the other way, but this way works too. If you have your timings all ironed out, this way is definitely the way to go. But I don't, so it's fine. We're going to keep pushing up that apoapsis until we hit 500, and then we're just going to do a circularization burn at the apoapsis. It will mean a much longer circularization burn, but that's absolutely fine. So yeah, our orbital velocity is going to be a fair amount lower. No doubt about that. But we will get to the apoapsis faster, so there's that. So we're currently at about 465 kilometers. 475. 485. And 500 as of now. Okay, so engine shutdown, and now we're just going to come out to the apoapsis and look to circularize this. So something along the lines of this. It's only medium accuracy. Go ahead and do it now. Okay. So we are now burning a little bit down, which isn't necessarily ideal, but it's okay. So we'll just continue to warp through this. It's going to be about a 4-minute burn, and 2x is the best we can do, so it is definitely going to take a little while here. It's going to be a 1.22 kilometer per second burn. Understood. That is definitely reasonably fine. So let's just get ourselves up into this circularized orbit, and then we're going to head out to Luna. And that's Brigo, of course. But we're going to head out to Luna, which will be a much easier world to reach. It's closer, and it is also not in that crazy inclination, but its gravity is way higher. So that is definitely noted. Okay, so we are continuing to burn basically horizontally right now. And that's understood. I'm just noting our delta V here. We've got about 3 kilometers per second left, and that's what we'll have when we get into orbit. Okay, that's fine. Cool. So we're going to be pushing up this periapsis very soon. We're nearly up to orbital velocity, we can see here. Excellent. And there it goes. And yeah, this is only going to be medium accuracy, but it doesn't really matter all that much. I'm going to turn off the auto burn, and we're just going to bring this guy right on up to be about here or so. Okay, so that looks good. At this point, I'm going to get rid of this. Yeah, this is definitely not particularly accurate. It's fine. So that is absolutely okay. We are going to head out to Luna, and that's going to be a planned burn probably sometime around here would be my guess. It's decent. We can dial it in a little bit if we really wanted to. I'm not sure that we really want to. This is probably good enough. So it would end up being something kind of like this. We would be pretty far off, and if we really wanted to dial it in, we'd bring it back over this way and maybe change our timing a little bit. Something kind of like that would be decent. Okay, so that would definitely work, but that would be 1.46 kilometers per second. And that's about half of what we've got, so that seems decent, actually. Okay, well, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we're going to see if we have enough to actually get that completed. We'll see. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Atala, Ali Lee, Dark Horse Xenocyte, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.